this video, we're going to run through actually running a draft here with the draft tool from Limited Inc. In the previous videos, hopefully you've already set up your local sheet as the host. I'll have a link to that in the description just in case you haven't done that already. But here again, we're at the point where we've picked our player count, the number of players we have in the draft, and we've checked both of these boxes so that everything was reset. If you haven't done that, you can go ahead and do that before you start the draft process. Once all of your players that you have for the draft are in the sheet, you should pick a player number for each player. In this case, I'm the host, so I'm going to go ahead and pick player 1, and then my opponent will be player 2. Each player should only access their own tab once the draft starts. Of course, we can't enforce this. If players really want to switch tabs and look at the other player's tab, they can do so. But we're trying to keep this fun and also build this quickly in Google Sheets to see if we want to move on to do something more formal in a web app. So I'm going to go ahead and look at player 1 here. This is the pack you can see at the top that was presented to player 1. So what we're going to do is take a look at the pack. So you can see their cards are in pack order. You have on the left hand side the 6 commons and the 3 uncommons, the 2 rare slots, and the foil slot. So this doesn't actually show these cards as foil because there's no way to represent that here. But if you do roll an enchanted in this slot, it will give you the enchanted art. So let's take a look at this pack and figure out what we want to draft. You can also zoom out using this zoom feature of Google Sheets if you prefer to zoom out and be able to just see all the cards at once here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take this Maleficent. I can check this box to indicate that I want this card. You can see there's a checkbox under every card here. And then I want to make sure that I'm locking in my pick, I just check this lock picks box. It will then, you can see it goes ahead and drafts the card. It adds this Maleficent to my deck here. You can see my deck down below. And then on the right hand side, it's going to start to build out my stats. So you can see my cost curve of the deck, inkables versus non-inkables, and the card types that I've drafted. So of course you wouldn't do this in real life, but I'm going to go ahead now and take a look at player 2's pack here. So again, player 2, this is a separate pack. Ooh, foil John Silver. Now that's a card. I'll take that one. Go ahead and lock in my pick. You can see that I get this John Silver. And now the pack has been passed. So you can tell that this was the pack that player 1 had originally, right? So of course with the card that was drafted removed, in case you really want Ursula's Shell Necklace, you could pick that one, but I'm not going to take that. I'm going to go ahead and take this Wardrobe, draft that. Again, you can see it gets added to my deck here. Go back to player 1 again. Player 1 again has the same options that were presented to the player 2 originally. None of those look very good. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take Jafar here. So every 12 picks, a new pack will be shown to the players, so you get to pick from a fresh batch of cards. After 4 packs, or 48 cards, all of the players will then have their decks completed. So let's take a look at what that looks like. You can see here, this is what a completed deck looks like. You no longer have any cards showing at the top for either one of these 2 players. You can see the full cost curves and the stats. Here's all 48 cards that are available. And then you can also then immediately export this to Pixelborn. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You just select this cell, copy it, then go ahead and bring up Pixelborn, click Import Deck on the Decks tab, add the string, give it a name. I usually use Draft, click on Import. So there it's imported. It's going to give you this warning. That's fine in this case because we're going to be playing custom games. It doesn't care about different color inks or how many cards are in the deck. And then before you play, you need to make sure you're cutting 8 cards from this deck. So we need to get down to 40. So I'm just going to remove them for the purposes of the demonstration. But obviously you don't probably want to remove these Dragonfires, this Aladdin, or this Elsa. I definitely keep those in your deck.